This is Mo,
And this is Arye,
and you're listening to
the Relatable Podcast. Let's do it.
Here it goes now, rolls away now. Not seen a lot, I think I've seen enough. I'd love someone to ponder with and wonder if 23 is gonna miss me. And it's a mystery where the years will go and all is said and done. When we're done, do we take them all or none? But can we all make a change now? Can we all make a change? And carry on our name now. Carry on our name. When I know the doors are open, they close and they open. The doors are open, stay closed when they open. Oh, been here before, I'm here again now. Let it calm down, and the rain is painting colors all around my holy ground. All we have is here and now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And can we all make a change now? Can we all make a change? And carry on our name now. Carry on our name. When I know the doors are open, they close and they open. The doors are open, stay closed.
Whoa.
Nice,
Oh
that was
my
fire.
Yo,
you.
sick way to get started, baby.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
That was unreal. Wow, Yonatan,
Chef,
how's
thank you
that?
so much. Yo, pleasure being here.
God, fire.
Incredible. Wow.
I'm in
Absolutely.
the zone right now.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, how are we gonna
Good way to
start
get
off?
in.
I don't know if we can make it better than that. Honestly,
That was impressive. It really
Amazing.
was.
Amazing. Thank you.
Wow.
It's one thing like listening to on Spotify. It's another thing.
Right,
like,
this was a whole different level.
in
yeah.
the
Oh my gosh.
freaking dude.
In
Sick.
real deal. Real
Oh
deal
my
right over
gosh.
here.
Wow.
With the guitar.
Arye,
Yeah.
what are we feeling about this?
Yeah, so obviously been listening to your music for quite a while now.
Wow.
Over a year plus. I was just at your
Wow.
concert
Oh, by the way,
Hanukkah.
I want to just plug in. I listened to Oh My Soul like 4 years ago in Guatemala. A friend of mine showed it to me. Yeah.
Wow.
And dude, I'm just like hopping now. Like who?
Oh my
who it is.
gosh. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Incredible. Thank you so much.
All of the circles tie in, you know?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
I was reading on your website. You guys have a beautiful Nuriel website.
Mhm.
I just wanted to read you 2 sentences, an excerpt that I took out,
Sure.
and then I'm going to give you the floor to explain how the band came about, what exactly is the message that you guys focus on, and really the origin story of
Of
how
course.
the whole thing came together. So from your own description, it says, a band of 5 consisting of 3 brothers
Mhm.
and 2 close friends. Their music is a surprising blend of worlds where indie rock meets meditative soundscapes and cello-led ballads meet synth-driven anthems guiding listeners on a profound journey.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
from the website.
yeah, that's
I didn't
one
realize
heck
that.
of
Oh my
a
gosh.
News to
beautiful
Yonatan.
description right there.
Wow.
So take me back to the origin of 8 years ago.
Sure. Yeah, it's 8 years ago, probably more at this point. I was like just kind of coming out of the army at that point, and I'm Israeli, born and raised in Israel. We're all basically Israeli, and myself and my brother and a very close friend, Zvi, our drummer, started performing. We started busking out in Ben Yehuda, basically,
Nice.
where it all good things start.
Of course.
And it got more and more serious, and I was writing songs back then, and we were performing those songs, and at one point we just had to figure out a name and kind of solidify a bit more. started playing some local venues. At one point, our bass guitarist Benny, who's also a close friend and neighbor, literally from down the street, joined in. My brother David, who was in America at the time, came back, joined as the guitarist. So we became this 5-piece band.
Wow.
Within like probably a year and a half, and the name sort of emerged at one point, and we followed that journey with that name.
And what does the name represent?
So
Nuriel's Hebrew?
So Nuriel is Hebrew. So it's funny. I remember when I was first thinking about a name for the band, I posted something on Facebook, which is like Instagram. But
I was going to say pre-Instagram days, yeah.
Yes.
Not to date ourselves. But.
Yes, exactly. So I'm that old. It was on Facebook. So I posted on Facebook, like looking for band suggestion names, whatever. And I think we probably got like over 70 different ideas, different comments. Most of them were like, whatever. I'm very specific with these things, so I was like cringing a lot.
What were some options?
I don't know. I mean, one of the options that came from the band was like, what was it? Angel beat makers.
Wow.
Like, whoa,
Nice.
no.
Yeah. That's intense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a little
X.
intense. Little bracer.
Absolutely not. But we actually ended up following the angel thing because Nuriel is the name of an angel. It's actually like the name kind of just popped into my head, and I felt like it just felt right. Like it felt like if I had to take these songs and if they had to have a name, like a personality, Nuriel felt like that. Okay, that's who it is, And I think over time we just kind of started to uncover what that name meant to us. So it started out just as a name that felt right. It just felt like the right name. And
was
then
it a
over time, like,
collective agreement throughout all 5 of you?
for the most part, I kind of pushed it.
Nice.
But it was, we kind of went with it, and so Nuriel is also the name of an angel.
So what's the literal?
So
English
Nuriel
translation?
literally means, like, you have like angels like Uriel, Michael, Gabriel.
Right.
Those are all names of angels. Nuriel literally means fire of Hashem, or God is my candle, or candle of Hashem, flame of Hashem, whatever it is, or Hashem is my flame, depending on how you read it. And really, I think, like, highlighted what it is that we want to do as a band,
Which is
kind
what?
of, I guess, to be a light, to be a flame, to be a vessel for something that is hopefully healing and godly and good in the world. That became so the name kind of became a mission statement.
Wow.
I love it.
Pretty cool.
And just out of curiosity, did your band start off as a whole, or was it you kind of picked up people out on the way?
So yeah, I was saying like it started off. I was writing songs. I was doing that since I was probably 10, and then over the years there was a lot of we'd all jammed together. We're like,
Right.
I have 2 brothers in the band. We're 3 brothers and 2 really close friends.
So cool.
So we were
Yeah,
doing a lot of stuff together anyway. My family would get together Motzi Shabbos and we'd play. It still goes on.
You're a musical family.
Yeah. So thank God. My parents are musicians,
Whoa.
and so that's
sick
really
vibes.
we kind of grew into that,
Mhm.
and we all grew up kind of playing together, and so it just became like a very natural progression for us to all just find each other and make that happen. Thank
It's
God.
gorgeous. And you mentioned
dope.
how the name is something that you grew into, being that light and being that vessel that people could gain from.
Mhm.
What transformations have you seen? Obviously, as you gain popularity, you could reach more people.
Right.
But what in your own personal music have you seen shifts maybe of messages that speak to you, but
Right.
maybe you don't know how it will be received by the audience, but you following and staying true to your name that pushes you to release that music? Is that something
Wow.
that
That's a good question. I think like there is always, thank God, always an importance to keeping the message authentic, and especially with, like, for me, as a songwriter, like, just wanting to be real with whatever I'm writing. And so when I was a teenager, I honestly, I kind of struggled to find music in the Jewish world that really resonated with me and kind of spoke to me on a personal level.
why is that? Do you think it was more commercialized?
I feel like a lot of the music, again, no judgment, music plays a lot of different roles for people.
Sure.
For me, I wasn't feeling that there was enough kind of singer-songwriter stuff that was being written from an
What
authentic
was the main
place.
thing at that time?
Um,
Who was the leading?
I don't know if I want to define
Right,
exactly
right,
what
right,
it
right, right.
was, but it was like, I think for myself, whatever that need was, I felt like I wasn't finding that exactly.
Mm.
And so for myself, I just tried to start writing songs that felt like I'm writing from wherever I am and whatever experience I am having.
That's fire.
I think that's a very Jewish thing. If you go back to like David HaMelech, King David, he's writing from a very authentic place. He's having a hard day. He's going to write about it. He's feeling like Hashem is hidden. He'll say, Hashem, where are you? He's having a great day. He's feeling thankful. Like it's all there. Just like his heart is
It's
on the
raw,
page.
it's authentic, it's personal.
And so that I think that over the years, I think Nuriel for me became a platform and also like a certain like standard for me to like realize like I've set for myself a certain goal. I want to be doing something that is real. I want to just be doing something that over time evolves because I'm growing, and as I grow, the writing changes and everything, and really to keep writing from that place, to keep I guess writing from a place that is that is holding that torch, that is holding that light, that is trying to shed light on certain ideas or certain experiences. That's where it always comes from, and thank God, I'm very like moved and amazed by how much you have today, like that kind of singer songwriter ish
Right.
Yeah.
thing. Like there's so much of
exploding,
it.
I was gonna
right?
It's
say.
beautiful. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I was gonna say one of two questions. Number one was there any particular inspiration that led you to like anyone you particularly followed
Mhm.
that was like, whoa, I want to like be like this guy or
Wow.
that band? And number two was, do you feel like nowadays that singer songwriter mentality or style has been more like,
Yeah.
amplified and magnified?
So there are a lot of bands that I really, really loved growing up. Some of them were Jewish, some of them not so much. But I really, what I connected to with them was always kind of the authenticity. And there's some bands, for example, it's a band that I don't really listen to that much today, but it really it was very important to me for whatever reason. There's a band called Augustana, who the singer songwriter, like the kind of the songwriter head front man of the band. I felt that he was writing from a place that really resonated with me. And over the years, the band kind of like fell apart, but he has still been writing from a place that's real to him. And he's a family man and everything. And I kind of like really appreciated that, watching that and realizing like, you know, I would love to see more music that is not coming from that commercial place, but coming from a place
Nice.
of like, I'm writing from a real place.
Fire.
And that's what it is. And you definitely have it in the Jewish world. People that I really appreciated growing up, and that really resonated with me. I mean, we're living right now in Efrat. I learned at the Kollel over here with Rav Shlomo Katz, and he really was one of the few kind of Jewish artists that were putting out something that was real, that was authentic, that resonated with me personally, and that was extremely important to me back then. And fast forward to today, for sure, you have so much of it. It's beautiful. We were at this event the other night.
Correct, yeah.
On Hanukkah, where we had like a collection of a few amazing songwriters. You had Chaim Guri and Shalom Benstein, and I was blessed to be there. And then like we had a
The
few
night
other
before
people.
with Slappy Nachas as
Right,
well. That was
right,
awesome.
right.
Yeah.
That was cool. Light Fest.
Yeah.
Light Fest was on Sunday
Yeah.
of Hanukkah. Yeah, so it's cool like to have, and everybody's writing in their own style, in their own way.
100%.
You know. The fact that that's like exploding now is beautiful. It's amazing.
Why do you think that is? Is it just because technology is more advanced and it's more accessible?
I think everything feeds into everything. I think it comes down to a spiritual thing. I think we're a generation. We're an amazing generation. I don't know. We're just an amazing. I mean, like
Creates
Let me hear.
real connection.
I hear a lot of
we're a
negativity
generation
about,
of like
hear?
people podcasting and like
Mhm.
opening it up and wanting to talk about things, and it's amazing. It's amazing, and
I think we've definitely
there's,
progressed in that way, and we should give
yeah.
ourselves a pat on the back. As
Oh,
a
you're saying
generation,
spiritually.
as a whole.
yeah, totally.
I just want to zoom in into that point that you were saying that it's not due to the technology advances that there's so many artists who are really coming from an authentic place. Rather, you want to see from a spiritual perspective.
I think everything feeds into everything, meaning that technology and the exposure and the fact that you have a few people writing from an authentic place, and then other people grow up into that and get inspired to do the same. And for sure that there's a lot of like cause and effect there. But I think also we're just in a time, or like a beautiful time, where there's just a a quest for authenticity, a quest for like something real. People are looking for that. Even podcasting as a form of content, long form content. You're just talking. Nothing. It's not like bite
There's
size.
no pressure. There's no.
You're just
Yeah.
talking, and people want to just hear conversations, hear
Wow.
something real. I think it's a big thing, and I think like it's beautiful today that exists.
Yeah.
It's happening.
I think
Yeah.
one of the main reasons why podcasting blew up for sure in the last like 3-4 years is because it's like the raw, unedited, authentic, like clean version of
Yeah.
the long form content where everybody's used to movies and like professionally made videos,
Even news,
and news and all these
Yeah.
things. And now you have like this podcast. Okay, you put up a microphone, you put up a camera, and you're rolling. You just send it how it is. Especially Joe Rogan.
Right.
For like literally, I don't
Right.
think he does any editing for his podcast. I think he literally just records and talks, and 3 hours later posts.
He's not Relatable
Right.
podcast, but
it's we're different
We'll
levels.
catch up
obviously.
to that.
He's here, we're here.
Right.
but,
Right. Exactly. It's very cool actually about Joe Rogan because it's just like literally just looks like they just put up a camera in a room and like
literally,
it wouldn't even design it that way. It's kind of
For
like
sure.
strange, but they
he does his
anyway.
thing.
That is
But
the thing. Totally.
touching back on the authenticity, and especially that is the personality of your band. That seems to be who you are as a person, searching for truth and not getting sidetracked by externalities. Being in the arena that you're in, which is somewhat of a performance, an entertainer even, how do you stay true to that? Because you are
Nice.
catering to an
Fire
audience,
question.
Right.
and they are paying your bills, So
Yeah.
how do you balance between giving people what they want and what they're looking for while also staying true to yourself?
That's a great question. It's always a challenge. I think every time we perform, so for example, last week we had this festival on Sunday. Before that, we try to get together as a band, like check in, just hear wherever everybody's holding, and like remember why we're doing what we're doing, and then go in from that place. And if we have time, then we'll try to like just have a collective prayer together and just kind of focus the energy, focus of what it is that we're doing. So yeah, it is challenging, but I think it's also very beautiful and it's very rewarding when, and I'm not saying this is always easy to do because it's not, but when you look back at a show and you're like, I did what I could do. I gave it my best, and I tried to not get sidetracked. I tried to not put on some personality that I am not. It's amazing to look back at that and say, okay, I something important happened, and the best things happen when you get out of the way, like artistically. Sometimes you're on stage and like you just lose yourself. Like you look back and you're like, whoa, what was that? Like something amazing happened, and that wasn't me. That was something.
Is there any
big
particular
happened.
moment that is coming up right now?
It happens sometimes. You mentioned the word moment, so
Yeah.
we have a song called Moment,
Nice.
and
fire.
That's a plug right there.
Yeah.
They're on Spotify and
check
Apple
it out on
Music.
Spotify.
No real.
So that's one of my favorite songs to perform,
Sick,
and
I
the
love
reason is because first of all, the message of that song really is, I guess it's just my desire for like one real moment of authenticity, one real moment of like, the lyrics are basically, the chorus goes, give me a little moment of reason, a little moment to see me till I see you again. So a moment where I can actually be myself so that we can actually see each other, so that I can actually show up as me and you can show up as you, and we can have a moment where we are just us. And I heard this idea a while back, and it really stuck with me that, it's one thing to perform and to get the crowd to dance. Easy. Put on, you don't even have to perform, just put on some dancing
Put on a
song
DJ track and you're
exactly,
chilling.
people will dance, right? But to get people to be quiet or to get people to focus, that's not easy.
Wow.
But if you're able to do that, and sometimes you don't even realize that it happened until you look back and you're like, whoa, like you end the song and the crowd's quiet for like 2-3 seconds, and then
That's
they start laughing,
insane,
they start clapping.
bro.
That
That's delicious.
you look back and you're like, wow, like thank God something meaningful happened, because people were quiet enough because there was something important being said. There was something important happening. And I love that song specifically, Moment, because really it like kind of, we usually play it at the end of our shows, and it's kind of like a culmination of what it is that I'm hoping the show can give over to people. And I get to, we play it and I get to look around at the band and just feel so thankful that we are showing up, and we're again years later, like just hopefully giving it the best we can and showing up and being at the very least, like being ourselves and being present and allowing for a moment to happen, allowing for a moment of connection to happen. One moment. All I want is for people to walk away from a show and feel like there was one moment that really touched me. Everything else is a bonus. But yeah, one moment of authenticity. So
It's huge.
yeah, I can't think of specific. I mean, there are a lot of
Mhm.
specific, moments throughout shows, but yeah,
Wow.
moment
Love that.
summarizes that.
I'm very moved by your belief in authenticity, that you could perform a whole show, the work that takes pre and post, all for one moment, as you
Yeah,
said. I
yeah,
think that's
100%.
beautiful.
100%. It's wonderful if people are dancing and having a great time and everything, but like if I know that we're doing the best we can and we're showing up and people people get a chance to meet themselves, maybe in a meaningful way, to have a moment to just like reflect on themselves, to be there with a friend and maybe get emotional or kind of open up, like that's, for me, it's everything. It's everything.
Wow.
Yeah, thank God.
And on that day that you perform, you're not in the headspace. You have so much going on. Your
Yeah.
cute kid is sick. Your
Mhm.
wife is not feeling well. What do you do
Right.
then? Because not every day is sunshine and rainbows.
I
How do
love
you?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the beauty. I think that's the beauty of these things, is these shows, like, it's not like you wake up and the sun's shining and the flowers and
Mhm.
everything and it's just
Full
okay, and you like
energy.
roll into the concert, and like, and I've really gone to like appreciate other artists, other musicians, because you see them on stage and it's like, wow, they must be channeling such clarity,
Mhm.
such whatever, and like, it's not like that. You're basically human like everybody else, and you show up and maybe you had a hard day, maybe you had a great day, whatever it is, um but going on stage is a practice in showing up the best you can. Just show up and focus on what's important, and whatever emotions you have that day, whatever struggles you have that day, like, channel that into the show. I've had a lot of shows like that, like different difficulties, whatever it is, technical challenges before the show, and you like show up and you just channel all that into the show and be present. And I think, like, I mean, hopefully we're talking about this moment, like, it, a moment of closeness, a moment of authenticity is a moment of prayer, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I was thinking. I
And
was like,
and
it kind of
so you
sounds like
come
you're
with
just praying.
whatever, yeah, come with whatever you got, and you pray. You come with whatever you got, and you just show up. And this is me, and this is me, and you, Hashem, and we're in this together. And yeah.
So it's not so much a role of entertainer. It sounds like.
No, I don't like that word.
So what word
Nice.
would you properly describe?
I would say, it's hard to think of a word. I think it's more like showing up. I think it's like being a vessel to hopefully facilitating a moment of prayer for people, or a moment of something real.
Is that how
Maybe
you?
it's more like facilitator. Maybe it's more like
Right.
channeling something for people, like providing the space and the different songs, the kind of musical journey to get you to a place that you feel like, hopefully, you're a bit more of yourself, a bit more of you, a bit
Nice.
more authentic.
Just out
Yeah.
of curiosity, it seems like your entire what's the word I'm looking for? But I guess your goal or your mission in this band is to help connect, to have that one moment.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that's only true when it comes to Jewish music, or do you think you could connect to that in any other genre? Or
You're saying, does that
yeah,
exist?
do you think it's like on a Jewish level, or do you think it more on the words? I think a lot of people like put their real soul and their real
Right.
thoughts and emotions into their music. Do you think that?
Right.
It's
You're
limited
saying-
only to
Yeah.
Jewish music.
Well, I think music is a beautiful tool. Music has always been a spiritual tool. It's only very recent that music became recreational.
Right.
You go to a concert just for the sake of, for
Radio.
the love of,
Mhm.
music was always a spiritual thing in every culture. Music was very important. And so the fact that we have music today that is divorced from a spiritual experience is a very new thing. So yeah, that is something that I think every culture can and should embrace and follow in an authentic way. I think as Jews, we have a tradition of music that runs so deep. I mean,
Mhm.
look at in the Beit HaMikdash, you had the Kohanim, right? and they're doing the work that they did. And the Levim played music. And I love this idea. I just really love it. The Kohanim, think about it. You go to a Kohen, you show up, and you say, the Kohen is your therapist. The Kohen is the guy that you show up and you tell him, look, this is what I did. I don't know how to cleanse myself. I want to work this out. And you sit with the Kohen and you talk about it. And that's like literally part of the process of bringing a korban is like you show up to the Kohen, you tell him, and he helps you work through your emotions.
It's not just a sacrifice.
I never thought of it.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
The Kohen is the therapist. The Levi is there also playing music. He's not just he's not there's like
jamming out on rock music.
The Levi is there with the Kohen, like they're showing up, they're with this guy, they're helping him work through whatever. The Levi's playing the right music to open this guy
it's
up.
Really a witch
to help
ritual.
him really like open up those doors. The Kohen is like directing the whole thing, and the Kohen's like, okay, motioning to the Levi, okay, like bring that up.
The keys,
okay, like this is the moment. Okay, now open up. And that's what's going on. That's what's going on in our tradition with our Kohanim and Leviim. That's what it is. And that's the role of music. And that's where music should, I think, is going back to, and where it should go back to is music is in the Torah calls music avodat avodah. It's the service of the service. So avoda in Chazal is reference to prayer, avodah shebalev, and avodat avodah is really the surrounding blanket that allows you to do whatever inner work you have to do. Prayer is not just me talking. It's like it's an inner process. Avodah is avodah shebalev. It's inner therapeutic work. And music is there as the blanket around it to support you in that process. So for sure, in our tradition and in our emunah, this is like that's what it's all about, and it's beautiful that it's happening more and more.
It's so interesting because we were originally asking, is this a new idea that's developing?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying quite the opposite, that no, it's just something that we've lost, and we're just bringing back that which was always there.
Yeah, I think there's nothing new really. Everything, we're just uncovering what is already there. We're just uncovering I mean, look at all the music and all the Torah that's coming out and all the creativity. We're just rediscovering who we are. We're unpacking something that we've lost over the years. Rabbi Nachman says in the first Torah in Likutei Moharan, he says that really resonated with me. He says, like, there's so much beautiful art out there. There's so much beautiful music out there. There's so much beautiful poetry and architecture and aesthetics. Yeah, totally. Like, oh my gosh, there's a beautiful world out there, and humanity has really made a lot of progress. Where is that in our tradition? And the truth is, we've lost a lot of it because we've been in survival mode for 2,000 years. And Rabbi Nachman says, like, any beauty you see out there, know that that it has a place in our tradition. We just haven't uncovered it yet. Wow. We haven't dared or pulled together the courage to unpack that again and to know that it is in our tradition. And I don't mean that in a simplistic way, like everything you see out there is in the Torah. Like, for sure, thank God, there's so many things, therapeutic modalities and things that have really been developed out there that are really important and were not developed necessarily in the Jewish community. But to know that at the core, the truth that is in that art, that is in that whatever it is, in that philosophy, is all coming from a Torah place. And once we uncover that, we realize that we have everything. We have the most beautiful music, we have the most beautiful art, and we just need to dare to uncover it again.
We're not creating anything, we're just discovering.
Discovering, uncovering.
I love it.
Totally.
What other Jewish expressions of creativity have you seen? Meaning your scene is much more directed and focused in the music industry. What other, you mentioned architectural buildings, right. What comes to mind? Do you have friends, do you have acquaintances that you see like, we're doing this together. We're uncovering that beauty that lays within Judaism.
Well, music and art are both like two things that are really, I guess as far as artistic expression, right? Music, art, poetry, these are all things that they're so beautiful. There's such beautiful visual art today. I don't do a lot, but before I started doing music, I was painting and I was drawing a lot. So visual art is I appreciate that a lot, and hopefully one day I hope to get back into that a bit more.
I enjoy how you call it visual art. I like that. As opposed to
I guess
art?
there's audio art,
audio,
whatever art,
sure.
whatever you call it. But Yeah, there's some beautiful, beautiful Jewish art today. There's beautiful Jewish writing. There's beautiful, I mean, thank God we live in a beautiful world, and Hashem wants us to embrace the beauty and whatever beauty we know how to express. You know, we all have our own way of expressing. So yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't know if that
Wow.
answers the question, but yeah.
Do you and your band have any like routine before getting into a show to help get in the mind space and prepare for
Yeah.
like the performance?
So usually, so what happens is you get to the show and you have to do sound. That
Right.
takes a while. Sound check, getting up there, plugging in.
We know
whatever it is,
somewhat
you
of
know.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
got
it's
the
a
taste
whole thing.
with our recorder and our 3
Um,
microphones.
No, but it literally sometimes it could take a long time. But if you have time before the show, yeah, we try to get together backstage or wherever we have like a
Mhm.
moment with each other, just each other. And like I said, like music is really there to facilitate like an inner therapeutic process of like opening up and being ourselves. And so we try to do that. We try to checking in. It's just we go in a circle and each one of us shares a bit about what we are feeling right now, what we're experiencing right now. I'm having a hard day. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling concerned about something at work, whatever it is. And we bring that and we just hold space for each other. We don't try to fix each other like,
Mm.
oh, I have an idea. Maybe we should do that. Like none of that. We just try to hold space for each other and show up as us. And we do that also at rehearsals, sometime in the middle of the rehearsal. And every time we check in, it takes a couple minutes. We go in a circle and each one kind of shares whatever they're going through. I'm just like blown away because I'm like, wow, I didn't know that you were really tired today. And I didn't know that you
Wow.
had that
Nice.
something you're dealing with, whatever. Like, thank you so much for being here right now. I'm like,
Whoa.
you know,
Like I know how hard this is for you.
yeah. And then the music means so much because I get to stand on stage and look around and like, wow, I'm so proud of each and every one of us. Like we're showing up and we're here and yeah, totally.
Wow. Wow.
Do you have any advice from the consumer perspective to try to connect to the music more? I know personally, like when I'm listening to songs, it could just be sometimes skipping them, sometimes I'm oh my soul, like yeah,
Right.
like obviously listen to it's insane lyrics, but yeah, from consumer perspective, what do you think we could do to connect more?
You're saying connecting specifically to these songs?
Yeah.
So there are all these different artists writing in their own unique way, and you find whatever works for you, whatever artist works for you, whatever message works for you, and I guess just to be present with it because today there's so much fast-paced everything, and I know with myself like everything's on shuffle, and I just like I don't have patience to go through a song, and I just I skip it. So I don't know. I would challenge people to like take a moment. Like I guess it comes back to the word moment. Like take a moment and listen to the words and maybe those words mean something. Like maybe those words are actually more than just nice lyrics in a song, but like maybe I can actually take them as a practice for today. Maybe I can take those words and say, okay, I'm gonna try to apply this in my life. Every song is like a teaching that's packaged in a melody, but that's why I don't like the word entertainment because it really makes it very superficial. It's
Super shallow.
it's like, okay, I'm bored and whatever, I need to be entertained. It's not entertainment. Music is a message, and or at least
The
way I see it.
message.
It's
Yeah.
the way I see it, it's a message. It's an
I
important
love
message.
this, by the way. I don't know if anybody else has ever spoke about this on a podcast, but I feel like my horizon has been like
Expanded to the max.
expanded insanely when it comes to music. Just by
Yeah,
that.
I appreciate
It's
that.
very, very.
I remember like years ago, you were asking about like, back in the day, like influences that I had. So like I remember there was like a band that I loved listening to. And I heard this interview, the singer was talking about how they became very popular. And he was like, before we know it, like, instead of performing in front of a couple dozen people, we're performing in front of thousands. And he said, like, I realized that I get up on stage and people want to hear what I have to say. And I better have what to say, And so the whatever your music is able to do out there, like you should have what to say. You should have what to say. There's enough noise out there. There's enough noise.
Ooh.
There's enough noise in the podcast world also.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you have what to say, that cuts through the noise because people listen to what actually to the message, to what is actually being said. So that stuck with me. Like whatever it is that we do, we should be saying something. We should be actually saying something.
I love it. There's a certain trust that one needs to have in himself also. For example, when I was attending your concert, you took a moment to quote from Rabbi Nachman, I believe it was, that sometimes words can't properly express what we're feeling, and we just have to let it out with a scream.
Right.
And as you were saying that, I was surrounded by a crowd of at least 20 people in my immediate vicinity, and a bunch of them started giggling.
Wow.
We're listening to music. Like, what's this guy trying to scream for?
Wow.
And then you just went for it. Like, you
Wow.
backed up away from the microphone, just went for it. And literally everybody around me, just myself included, just let out that scream.
Wow.
And I thought it was very cool. I was thinking about that afterwards because it's very normal and easy to fall into that self-conscious train of thought. And if I hear that giggling, like, never mind, off to the next song. To stick with that. This is something that I feel is important. And people can laugh. People may not see the beauty of it, but those that do connect, even for that one moment, like you mentioned, makes it all worth it.
That's very powerful.
Yeah. Thank God. That was a moment that I felt like I told the band very last minute. I was like, guys, this is what we're doing. We're doing it.
Can you describe the moment?
So I mean, I'll backtrack.
Guys, moment's gonna be the key word in this entire podcast. I love it.
No, so the background to that is that I spoke before that about a musician that was killed basically 2 weeks before the festival. His name was Eliezer Botzer. He's a singer-songwriter that I really, really appreciated. Israeli, wrote in Hebrew. Such a powerful personality. I got to meet him a couple months ago at a different festival that we were playing at, and I just got to speak to him a little bit and just told him how much I appreciated his music and a certain song that he put out that really touched me. And he unfortunately was killed in a car accident coming back from Miluim.
Whoa.
Really shocked me. And I remember I was in the car and I was like, we were driving home. It was a Friday, and I was trying to tell my wife, to explain to my wife, who this person was to me. And I put on one of his songs, and I literally had to pull over to the side and I started crying. And it affected me so deeply. First of all, because of course he's a family man, and any loss is absolutely terrible, but also because this is a person that's writing from a really deep, authentic place. And I was like, Hashem, the world needs somebody like this. The world needs people that are writing from that kind of place. And I heard that at his funeral, his son asked that everybody just let out the scream, because that he was really into that, let it out, express, And at the festival, I was just feeling very inspired to just we're here together. And it's got to be more than just getting together to have a good time. It's not a night of entertainment. It's a night of we're doing some deep avoda. Whatever it is that we're doing, we're gonna have a good time. We'll dance, but we're gonna do something real. And it's uncomfortable sometimes when you bring that out to people, and people are like, "Yeah, I don't know, whatever." But
it's
at
the
so
same time,
powerful.
it's a chain reaction.
Yeah, it's powerful when you cut through, when you're able to cut through, and people realize that, whoa, oh my gosh, I actually have the opportunity right now to express in a way that I've never done before, and it's gonna be okay. Nobody's making fun of me. We're in it together. That's powerful. That's really powerful.
That's
and
huge.
that was a beautiful moment.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time, Arya?
Gorgeous.
How are we doing? Oh, beautiful. Wow.
We're wrapping up, or?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to ask one last question.
Sure.
Because we discussed a lot about music and Jewish creativity. For somebody like myself, who I really appreciate music, and as Mo mentioned before, is more of a consumer, everybody has some expression of creativity, even if it doesn't have such a rigid box, such as music, art, architecture. What would you tell somebody such as myself? I don't play music. I don't paint. I don't write poems. Where could I find my Jewish creativity and expression?
For creativity.
Well, I think creativity happens in many different ways. It's not just in colors and sounds. It's in conversations. This is your form of creativity, and channeling whatever talents that you have to run or facilitate conversations that are meaningful, that are highlighting certain things that make them relatable, that make them like that plug.
Nice.
You don't. Love that.
And that's a form of creativity. I think you're doing it. It's a beautiful thing to be able to take that and say, okay, thank God we live in a world in a digital age that allows for us to have access to tools that we get to express ourselves in many different ways. And this is one of them. I think it's amazing. So I think you're doing it. And creativity also happens in friendship, showing up to a friend. Can I be present for him? Can I listen to him? There's creativity in that. There's creativity in being able to like cut through the noise and actually be present with somebody for a minute. There's playfulness because you're gonna get out of the box of whatever I think this person's saying, and I'm just gonna be present for whatever comes. Like there's a lot of creativity there, and then there's also creativity mainly I think with our Avodat Hashem, with us and Hashem. There are different challenges that I might be facing, or I feel blocked. I feel like I'm going through whatever challenges, and I can't see Hashem, but I'm gonna be playful with this. Hashem, I want to believe that you're listening to me. We're just gonna have fun with this. I'm gonna talk to you, and let's say you hear me, let's say you don't. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm just gonna be creative with it. I'm going to express however I need to express. And again, it comes back to authenticity. Authenticity and creativity, I think, are very much part of the same thing. A non-creative perspective would be sticking to a rigid way of being. This is what I do every single day. This is my schedule. Creativity allows me to be authentic. Right now, I'm feeling a bit off today. How can I be present for myself? I might need a coffee. I might need to talk to a friend. I might need to take a walk. I might need to learn something. I might need to listen to some music. There's creativity in how we approach ourselves and how we approach relationships. So, yeah.
Unreal.
That's really beautiful.
Shkach.
Yonatan, thank you so
Wow.
much for coming. Wow.
Gorgeous.
Thank you
That
so
was
much.
awesome.
Thank you.
Let's get a hug in
Wow.
here.
That's l'cha, you guys. Wow.
That was so real.
Thank you so much.
That was a journey. Okay.
Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
That like.
We got a good 50 minutes in there. Nice.
Thank God.